If you're already selling on Etsy, then you may have also considered selling on Amazon. Diversification in any business is really important, and it's one of the reasons why stockbrokers and financial advisors get you to invest in many different kinds of stocks. Basically, you don't want all your eggs in one basket. And it's the same with online businesses and handmade businesses as well. I recently recorded a short video about diversifying your business, and the link will be at the end of this video. But I am a real big believer in diversifying and having multiple streams of income. When I speak to students about this and about diversification in general, and this usually comes down to Amazon, Handmade and Etsy, then there's lots of misconceptions about what the differences are, such as the audience size and the competition. And I wanted to make it a lot easier to understand what's involved with both Amazon and Etsy. So in this video, I'm going to take an objective look at some of the key differences between the two marketplaces and go through those misconceptions. And the aim of the video is, at the end, you should be able to make a decision about which marketplace is best for you. So let's get going. So the first point is, what is handmade? And I know this sounds like a really stupid question, considering you probably are already handmade sellers, and this is a video about handmade business and channel about handmade business. But what is handmade? Well, Etsy and Amazon both actually have slightly different ideas about what actually constitutes a handmade product. Amazon has quite strict rules about what's handmade and what's not, and they have 3 different types of handmade which they will accept. There's handcrafted, which is made entirely by hand, and then there are 2 which are quite similar to each other but have distinct differences. So there's hand altered, and this is existing products that have been altered or adapted into a new design, for example a denim jacket that you paint or draw your designs onto. And then there is handmade customized, for example if you make jewellery and you hand stamp initials onto them as per the customer's request. Now Etsy has a slightly more relaxed definition of handmade. It includes handmade goods, craft supplies, which also includes ingredients and the materials and tools. Plus it also includes vintage goods, which are at least 20 years old. It also includes items that have been designed by you, but handmade by a production partner, which basically means someone else. And if you work with a production partner, you must disclose the name of that production partner in your relevant listings. Now, in order to be accepted to sell on Amazon, you will need to be an independent maker working alone, or preferably with fewer than 20 friends, family members or employees in order to create products. Or you could be a collaborative group or cooperative, but basically you need to be the one that makes the products. Now when you apply to sell on Amazon Handmade, you have to complete a application process stating which category you want to sell your products into, the ones we've just been into just now, and also confirm that you do not outsource production to any third parties. And you actually have to go through your production process in the application process. On Etsy, you can be a maker or a designer. So a maker, for example, is someone who is physically making the items. Now you don't need to personally make every single part of your item. If it involves screws, you don't have to make the screws. And you can incorporate elements that are not handmade and have help from others. Or you can be a designer, so someone who comes up with a design template or the prototype and then produces the products with an in-house or through a production partner. This means that you can outsource the production process to a third party. However, you definitely can't do wholesale. You need to be designing the product yourself. Now Etsy clearly uses a broader definition of handmade, but the difference though is the checking process. On Amazon, you'll have to prove that your products fit into one of their 3 handmade categories or subcategories, whereas on Etsy there is no requirement to show much of your products, or actually how much of your products are actually handmade. So in summary, Etsy allows pretty much a broader range of handmade goods onto their platform. But this is good and bad. You don't need to go through the verification process that you have with Amazon, but you'll be competing against a lot more sellers, and we'll come on to that in a bit more. So number 2 is, what categories of items can you sell? Etsy and Amazon also order their handmade products differently on their sites, and Etsy groups their handmade products into the following categories that you can see on the screen here. But within each of those categories, there's loads and loads of subcategories, and there's something like 140 categories overall, so you should hopefully be able to find the right category for your products. Amazon Handmade has a smaller number of categories to choose from, and it doesn't have any subcategories within it in the same way as Etsy does. One thing Amazon Handmade doesn't accept is electrical or food related products only into the handmade category. You can sell those on regular Amazon with approval. And I guess this really makes sense. I'm not really sure I want some handmade thing plugged into my house without safety checks. So in summary, Etsy does accept a larger amount of products than Amazon does. And so this is changing all the time, and Amazon is expanding its range. So number 3 is the fees. And this is one of the most important categories as it shows you how much dough you're going to pay to Etsy and to Amazon in order for them to host your products on their platform. So now this is actually one of the main differences between Etsy and Amazon. So let's have a look. Amazon has no monthly fee, and actually neither does Etsy, but for each sale it charges you what they call a referral fee, which is essentially the commission that Amazon takes for each sale, and that's of the sale price, and it's 12.24%. And if you're already an Etsy seller, you might be thinking, oh, that's quite high. And you would be right, that is actually a bit higher than Etsy's fee. But Etsy does have other fees that you need to take into consideration. So let's just have a closer look at Etsy's fees. So again, there's no monthly fee on Etsy, but there is a transaction fee of 5%. So that's quite a lot less than what it is on Amazon. However, you also have the listing fee of 20 cents each time you list a new product. Plus you have the payment processing fee, which is either 3 or 4% depending on whether you're shipping UK or internationally, or plus 25 cents for each sale. So when you add all of these fees together, it's actually not that much less than what you'd be paying on Amazon Handmade. There is also on Etsy the advertising fee to take into consideration, and Etsy actually charges you a fee of about 12% once you start making over $10,000 in sales. And this is really important to take into consideration because you'll get to $10,000 quicker than you might think, like just with 1 or 2 really good products. So let's have a look at these in a worked example. Say you have a product which sells for $29.99. On Amazon, the fees would look like this. You'd have the transaction fee or the referral fee of $3.67. However, if you sold it on Etsy, the same fee would only be $1.50. However, you'd also have the payment fee of 90 cents plus 25 cents. So for Amazon, the proceeds would be $26.32, whereas on Etsy it'd be $27.34. So you get about an extra $1. So it is cheaper to sell on Etsy, but it is just worth taking into consideration the fact that they're not that different. So number 4, the payments. So this is what it's all about, getting your money so that you can become your own boss and work full-time on your handmade business. Now on this front, Etsy definitely has an advantage. So the payments are made every day as soon as the transaction is complete. So on Amazon, you get paid every 2 weeks, which can actually be a bit of a pain in the arse for new sellers. However, you can request that payment early, and once you start getting more experience with Amazon, you will get used to that 2-week cycle, but Etsy is in no doubt, has an advantage here where you get paid every single day. So number 5 is the competition. So there is a lot of stuff written and a lot of videos made about how competitive Amazon is and how it's the end of Amazon, but I really only think it's too competitive if you aren't that creative or your products really suck. If you plan on selling yoga mats, then I've got some news for you. It is extremely competitive on Amazon to sell yoga mats, but if you're selling handmade products like you are, and your products are different and they're made by you, then there is going to be much less competition on Amazon for those products than there are for products like yoga mats. So don't believe everything you say when you hear that Amazon is too competitive. There's always room in the market for good products. Amazon Handmade is also much less competitive than Etsy when it comes to the number of products that are for sale on the platform. So Amazon Handmade has around 1 million products for sale on Amazon, whereas Etsy has well over 60 million products for sale. So there is actually a lot less competition on Amazon when you take those numbers into consideration. So it's worth just looking to see which marketplace is a better fit for your products. And in the next video, we will be going on to talk about how to work out which marketplace is the best fit for your products. So subscribe to this video and then have a look at the next video where we'll talk about the 2 different marketplaces and which one will be better for you. So number 6 is the fulfillment. So one of the perks of selling on Amazon Handmade is you get to take advantage of the Amazon FBA program. When you sell on Amazon, you have 2 main options for fulfilling your orders. You can either fulfill your orders through the Fulfilled by Merchant, where you do all of the shipping and handling yourself and handle the returns, or you can pay Amazon to do it, and this is called Fulfilled by Amazon, or FBA. So let's just have a look into those 2 a little bit more closely. So if you choose the Fulfilled by Merchant, as I said, you'll be in charge of storing your products, packing your products, shipping them to your customers, as well as handling the returns and all of the communications with the customer. Now, if you are, creating your orders as soon as they're made, or if you're customizing them, then this would be the option that you would need to make, because obviously once you get the order, you need to pick all the stuff together and make the products and then send it out to the customer. If you are doing this, then Amazon does allow you to set what's called the production time, and you can do the same as this in Etsy. But basically, you can set a production time for telling your customers how long it is going to take to make, because obviously you need to set that expectation with them before they start. With Amazon, you also have what's called the Fulfilled by Amazon, or FBA. Now, this is one of the major advantages of selling on Amazon, because you can use Amazon's amazing fulfillment network. And if you're an Amazon shopper yourself, you might have taken advantage of their getting prime shipments, so you get your stuff sent to you the next day. And this is great, like, you know, if you're a bit disorganized and you want to buy something and you just want it the next day, then Amazon will send it to you the next day, and this is perfect. So if you sell via FBA, Amazon gives you the ability to have your products shipped next day delivery. So they handle all of the packing, all of the storing, basically everything to do with the fulfillment, including the returns. And then they ship the products to the customer, and if there's any returns, they receive them back again. Now, if you do use the FBA program, there is a fee involved, but it's not necessarily that expensive. And once you take into consideration the storage fees and your time going to the post office or going to UPS to sort out the shipment, then it doesn't actually work out that much more expensive. With Etsy, you do have to handle all of the returns yourself and all of the fulfillment process yourself. So you do have to make sure that you're on top of contacting the customer and making sure that they're happy and handling any returns they do. One of the other advantages of FBA is it allows you to create a really global business really quite quickly. Like, I live in France and I'm from the UK, but I don't actually sell any of my products in France or the UK. I sell them all on Amazon USA. The reason for this is because I think it's just a better marketplace for my products. And as I said, we'll be going into how to work out which is the best marketplace for your products in the next video. But this is great because it means you can build a global business without having all of the headaches that usually come with having a global business. So there's lots of advantages with using the Fulfilled by Amazon network. So in summary for this, if your products are customized, then really you need to be selecting the Fulfilled by Merchant or selling on Etsy. And both of those are good options, so have a look into the two of them. But if your products aren't necessarily customized or made to order, then you should definitely have a look at FBA, because it would really save you a lot of time and energy with doing the fulfillment. So the seventh step is the application process. So the application process, as I mentioned earlier, for Amazon is slightly different to how it is on Etsy. On Etsy, there isn't really any verification, and as soon as you fill in your application form, then you will be able to sell your products almost straight away. On Amazon Handmade, there is a bit of a longer process, so you do have to register for what's called an Amazon Professional account, which costs it's around $39. It depends which marketplace you're in, but that's per month. But you do get that back if you're accepted onto the Handmade scheme, so don't worry about that too much. But first you have to create a professional seller's account, and I've actually written a guide on that, which is in the show notes, so check that out after this video. So it's actually not as complicated as some people make out, and I've actually made a checklist for your application process, which is also in the show notes. There's also a separate application that you have to do in order to get onto the Handmade program. And before you begin, just make sure you've logged out your Amazon account and make sure you have the following information ready. So you need a short summary describing your products and how you make them and what your processes are and what the materials are. And then you also need some images of your products and your production process in JPEG format. Now, these images, they shouldn't be like professional images or anything like that. Don't make them too good. Amazon is a bit funny like this. They just want to see that you've taken the photos on your phone, and don't make them too professional. And if you want to send me the pictures or any of your application process, I'm happy to look through it for you to help you to get onto Amazon a bit faster. My email is in the show notes. You should hear back from Amazon within a couple of days, although it can take up to 2 weeks, so don't panic if it takes a little bit longer. So in summary for this bit, Amazon does take a few more hoops to jump through than Etsy, but this can be a benefit to your business, as it means that Amazon's platform is a bit less competitive, and it means that they're a bit more strict about who they let on, so it only has handmade sellers on there, whereas Etsy, the application process is a lot more straightforward, but it is becoming a bit overwhelmed with people who aren't really selling handmade products. So in summary, it's really important to diversify your business so you're not just too reliant on one platform. Amazon Handmade and Etsy are both great places to sell your handmade products, and they both have different advantages. And if you check out the show notes as well, there's a little reminder about what are the different benefits and negatives of each one. So what I'm saying is, I think you should be looking really to sell on both and to be selling your products on as many platforms as possible in order to diversify your business and make it less at risk of any problems that could occur. Make sure you check out the templates that I've talked about in this. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about how you can work out whether Etsy or Amazon is the right platform for you, and we'll be looking at ways that you can see whether your products will be a good market fit. So keep a lookout for that and subscribe to the videos below in order to see the next videos.